They got all mad because I said it was like being a bus driver in the sky.
Oh, you are a bus driver in the sky.
Yeah, if you're not, then why is it called Airbus?
I've had this cockpit resource management training that not only has got me in touch with my feelings, but the feelings of those around me and made me a better pilot, a better employee, hell, a better lover.
Oh man, what's up people? I'm back. I'm here with my friend Bill and making good after doing a video where I set the world on fire by saying opinions of mine relating to aviation and learning about them. Bill's retired. He likes airplanes.
I like airplanes a lot. I like building airplanes. I like flying airplanes. I think about airplanes all the time. I always have, ever since I was quite a young fella.
Oh, right, since you're
Like
a young fella.
I was talking to my dad the other day, and he's 91 years old. And he used to build model airplanes. And when I was 4 years old, I'm telling you, 4 years old, I'd go down there and watch him in the basement. He'd be building model airplanes.
Yeah?
I'd sit there for hours and watch him build model airplanes. What 4-year-old kid does that?
Was he a pilot too, or was he into model airplanes specifically?
He just model airplanes.
Okay.
But he taught me how to fly.
That's cool. Sure. Okay, so as you know, you saw this video, and I did make some mistakes in it.
You'll have to refresh my memory.
Okay,
about
so
the video.
basically here was the gist.
I have a hard time remembering what Golden Pond was all about, you know.
Shut up with your accent.
I do remember Sling Blade, though.
So
There's Carl. Go on, I'm listening.
I know he's gonna watch this. So I shot my mouth off on the internet like I normally do. Okay.
Isn't that what the internet's for?
Yes, and
All right,
and I
man.
used it for its intended purpose.
Yes, sir.
But I went into why I don't have my pilot's license yet.
Yeah,
Yes,
I got
like
that
it.
part.
Okay, you got that part. And points I made a number of different points in there. But I pissed off a lot of pilots, partially because I said Cessna 152s and 72s are boring. That's a matter of opinion. Two, the other thing where they nailed me was I said a lot of people aren't learning stalls and spins. What I meant to say was spin. When I was thinking of stall, I was thinking of it in a big way for the sake of inducing something like that. And
Crossed
basically,
your words up, didn't you?
yeah, I did do that.
You don't want to cross your
Nah,
controls up.
I said that basically just because you have a zillion hours in the air doesn't make you a good pilot. Just because you've gone through certain certifications. Are you really flying? Are you really a good pilot?
Well, I don't know what a good pilot is.
Okay.
First, you have to define what a good pilot is. If you sit there for hours on end flying back across forth the ocean, every trip is just back and forth across the ocean.
Autopilot and playing cards?
You wouldn't be very good at, say, doing a triple snap roll on takeoff.
Correct.
You know? Same thing, you turn that whole thing around, if all you ever do is loops and rolls and spins,
Right.
you'd be really bad at a Category 3 approach. So you have to define the mission, you know? There's no such thing as the best airplane, and therefore there's no such thing as the best pilot. Except for Chuck Yeager, of course.
Wait, I had somebody say Bob Hoover's better.
Well, you know, they're both dead, so... No, actually, I guess it'd be Chuck Yeager's still alive.
Is he?
Yeah, I believe he is.
What's
yes.
your non-politically correct analogy?
Well, I already made that once, and I don't think I could say it again.
No, you got to say it again. I had to edit out because these goobers were playing copyrighted music. I couldn't
Here's
use.
what I say. Who is the more experienced lover? A person that a fella that's made love to many women once, or a fellow that's made love to one woman many times? Well, that's politically incorrect, so you could say this. Who's the more experienced driver? A guy that's driven one car,
Yes.
a long time, or driven many cars a short time? All depends on the situation, right?
See, I don't know if that analogy works because...
Okay,
and
we'll stick with the women then, although I know some of the folks aren't going to like it.
Truck drivers have way more miles than race car drivers in like a Formula One car. But
Right.
it doesn't mean a truck driver can drive a Formula One car.
Right.
And it also doesn't necessarily mean a Formula One car driver can
Right.
double clutch all those gears.
That
Just
is
saying.
correct. So
So let's leave it to
I don't
lovemaking.
know what a good pilot is. It
Okay.
all depends on the situation.
I guess it depends on the person. It's subjective. Wait,
Oh,
I've
yeah.
got it. A good pilot is the one who doesn't end up in a hole in the ground. A smoking hole in the
Yeah,
ground.
that's true. That's probably a good idea. You don't want to crash.
Yeah.
That's just a guideline to go by.
Okay, so
There's really crummy pilots that never crash, though.
Yeah, this,
Believe me, there's lots of them out there.
what do you think? Okay, so you may have an opinion about.
I was flying with a feller one time, and every time we'd come in for a landing, the airplane would be a little bit sideways. You know, we'd hit it, he'd kick straight. I thought, what the hell's this guy doing? So we're coming in for a landing, and I put my feet up underneath the rudder pedal so I could get some feedback while he's flying. He never touched the rudder. And he told me later on, he said, yeah, he says, you know, I've never flown a propeller airplane. And I thought, well, you didn't have to tell me that. It's quite apparent.
Okay, well that's an interesting point. Well, maybe we should add to what makes a good pilot is somebody who actually can use all the control surface as well.
Yeah, I suppose so. You got to learn how to type. Nowadays, your typing skills are most important. You got to be able to type at least 5 words in a mile.
That helps you in those places that turn
otherwise you're not going to get very far with these jets out there.
That helps you probably in those places that turn out diplomas for very expensive fees over a period of.
Are we talking about flying colleges?
I might be hinting to that.
Oh boy, this is a minefield right there. We better just steer clear of that whole mess right there.
Oh, okay. But
what? Are you leading the witness? I don't want to say nothing bad about procedural compliance. I mean, you get lots of that when you go to one of them.
You do get a lot of that.
Don't get much experience, but you learn a lot about procedural compliance, and I guess that'll help you out when you're flying them big jets up there. I remember I was flying.
Procedural compliance always makes me feel better about the talent of a pilot that's got my life in their hands.
Well, pretty much that's all you're going to have. I was flying with this feller one time, and he was all excited about it. And I guess he's trying to impress me. I don't know. But anyways, we would land at some airport someplace, and this Dash 8 would go by. And he'd go, oh, God, look at that Dash 8, man. It's a beautiful airplane. I flew that airplane. I really like that airplane. I'm like, okay, that's great, you know. Next day goes by or whatever, and, oh, man, look at that Dash 8. I like that Dash 8. I flew that airplane a lot. About 3 days of this, and he's gone on and on about this Dash 8, and I'm thinking, Dash 8? Did you ever take your girlfriend for a ride in that Dash 8? Did you ever go to a fly-in? Did you ever do a loop in that thing? Did you ever fly underneath a bridge? You know, what do you do with a Dash 8? You go over to O'Hare Airport, or you go to, you know, Pittsburgh International or something like that. I don't know. I kind of like a Pitch Special a little bit better myself.
Yeah.
I think that's more of an airplane.
I agree.
There ain't no FMS in it, though.
True.
How do you spell that?
I don't remember.
Just like it sounds. So,
I can spell FML. That's a different acronym.
Flight manual.
That's
right?
an interweb. What? FML?
Flight manual? Yeah.
No, my life. I can bleep that.
My life?
FML.
I did not know this.
It's kind of like WTF. It's not the World Trampoline
Whiskey
Federation.
Tango Fox.
Okay, well we're
That's
learning. We're learning
Whiskey-
together.
You know what Whiskey Tango Fox is? That's a taxi route to get to the end of the runway in Chicago's O'Hare.
Oh, is it
Airport.
real?
Yeah.
It is. I've seen that.
It's Whiskey Tango Fox.
Okay, so
Old
let's.
short.
Okay, I think we had fun, allegedly dancing around points. So how about this?
Wow, your questions. Could I have this in a multiple choice format? I got. It's like I'm carrying a grocery sack.
Okay, I can
full of
do that.
ideas, and
Okay.
I'm spilling them and dropping them on the floor.
I can do multiple choice. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. A, you agree with the shit I say on the internet. B, you think I should go drown myself in a bathtub and should never be around aviation or airplane again.
Or C.
Or C, you've got your own opinion and funny stories to say.
About what?
I don't remember. Well, why young people should fly in the EAA is a good thing.
Oh, well, the young people don't really fly in the EAA. And
Those are two separate things.
You're talking about the EAA National? Or you're
No,
talking about...
we can. These are separate concepts. We can have these thoughts.
Okay.
Okay, let's break
Nobody's
it down.
gonna get
I'll
mad
make
at
it
us.
easier.
I don't want
they'll
anybody-
get mad at us.
I don't want anybody to
care.
get mad at me.
You don't?
Well, a little bit. A little bit, baby.
Okay. Let's start with EAA. Where are we now? Can we say where we're at now?
Where we are right now?
We're being pretty
well,
cagey.
we're at the 582nd out here, Tango Delta Zulu. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Toledo Express for people that have to find it on a car map.
Well, see now, that's fake news right there. Just freeze the motion on the video. Did you hear what he just said?
What?
He said we're at Toledo Express. We're not. We're at Toledo.
Executive.
But they used to call
I
it
screwed that
formerly
up the
Toledo
first
Metro.
time. Well, this is how I keep the riffraff away, girl.
Terrorist. Anyway, so what about it?
Oh, they sound the same. Can we say where we're at? We're
we're
Executive.
Toledo Executive.
Yeah,
right?
it's on the
at
east
the 582nd.
side. I screwed that up. Yeah, 582nd.
Yeah.
See, now they're going to destroy me because I misspoke on that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Right.
They destroyed me earlier.
Didn't dot your I's or cross your T's.
I also said that a T6B had 1,500 horsepower instead of 1,100 horsepower.
What is a T6B?
That's a military training
Is
plane.
that
It's
the jet prop one? See, that
Turbo
ain't a
prop,
T6.
yeah.
Everybody knows a T6.
T6 got a radial engine.
A T6 got a 1340 up there.
We are off
650
topic.
650 horsepower up there.
Okay, so we're at the 582nd.
Burns about 55 gallons an hour if you want to pay for it.
We're at the 582nd EAA chapter at Toledo Executive Airport. Why is this a good place for young people and old people? And what should they do here?
Well, we have little meetings. We have the IMC club. We have the VMC club. And you can learn a lot from that. And one of these days, you can't see it, but we're building us a simulator back there.
Yeah.
It'll be a powerful tool for me to impart wisdom on fledgling young pilots, both IFR and VFR now. But what that will enable us to do with this box over here, that's what airline pilots call simulator. You go in the box over there, and I'll be able to teach VFR.
Okay.
Which heretofore is a big word that I like to throw around from time to time. Heretofore we couldn't do. Flying in instruments is no problem because you don't need no scenery. You shut all that off. You just need your gauges.
Yeah.
But flying VFNR, we'll be able to do that there.
Yes.
So it's a real good thing to do because you can learn how to do stuff before you go out there in a real airplane. I got a saying. I got lots of sayings. I'm going to say one of my sayings right now. The worst place to learn how to fly is in the cockpit of a flying airplane.
There's too much crap going on.
Yeah, way too much. It's a terrible environment, you know. You learn how to do it before you get up in the airplane. Saves you a lot of time, money, but it makes it, understanding what you're doing before you go do it. Big difference between a Cessna 152 and a 150. Do you know the difference?
One is older and more dainty.
2.
That's it?
Yeah, 150 to 152. As a joke, Casey's kind of slow.
It's the difference between a violin and a fiddle.
Yeah. Yeah, what was that one?
The person playing it.
I'll do all the jokes, okay, Casey?
Okay, all right.
From here on out. They got him an FB over there. Joe is an excellent instructor pilot. He won't be around long, though. Them fellers is in high demand, them pilots are.
Okay.
Right. He's actually flying a King Air. That's a twin engine. You got muddy engine time.
Okay,
Turbo prop. He'll be on with airlines before long.
I got you. Okay. I may have dogged on Cessna 150 and 152 variants and used a word such as boring.
Yeah, well, you don't refer to them as a 150. It's called a C150. That sounds better, C1. That's why I learned how to fly in a C150.
It's not a C130.
No, it's 20 more. You do the math.
Okay, so anyway, I'm sure that's a nice place to go, but there's also a flying club really close here.
We have one here. We have one here, and it's Table Saki. We'll be taking the banner down because as we speak, it's dissolving.
Right.
Pretty sure I'm going to shut it down right now. Yeah, we're got a whole new organization coming up to learn how to fly, a flying club. But it's only stick and rudder. There's no typing skills required.
I like that. No typing skills required.
No, there's no push. You can't. There's no button to push to start the motor. Nope. There's no GPS. To
no, you gotta fling that thing.
It's got the nose wheel in the back, the tail dragger. I teach a lot of people how to fly tail draggers, and I get a kick out of it because they think, well, it's some guy who has a private pilot's license. It'll take him 40 or 50 or 60 hours to get his pilot's license, and he'll think. And I always ask him, because I've had the cockpit resource management training. It's got me in touch not only with my feelings but other people's feelings. So I'm a kinder, gentler instructor now. And I say to him, how long do you think it's going to take you to get checked out in this tail dragger thing? Oh, just a couple hours. We'll see how that works out for you. So, meanwhile, 20 hours later, they're still struggling trying to. We got us a Pete Paul Air Camper out there.
Yeah, I know.
Trying to keep that thing on the runway. But yeah, we do. We teach a sport pilot's license. We teach a sport instructor's license, and we do tail dragger endorsements out there with that thing.
What do you think about people that would rather learn in a tail dragger than a conventional trike?
Well, here's what I say about that.
Okay.
I got a saying about that. I got lots of sayings. Well, what airplane are you looking for when you're out there flying?
Meaning?
Well, you're out
Like,
there.
what would
flying.
you like to own and fly one day?
No,
Or
no.
what are
When
you
you're out
looking
there
at?
flying in an airplane, you look out the window. What airplane are you looking for?
The one
The one you
is in
can't.
way?
No, the one you can't see.
Okay.
The one you can't see. So this is my saying about learning how to fly. Stick and rudder skills. I say this: you can learn how to fly well in a nose dragger, but I doubt it. I doubt it very seriously, because a nose wheel is dynamically stable and it is very forgiving, and so that stability covers up for poor piloting technique, but more importantly, covers up poor instructing technique. In other words, you don't have to really be that good to fly a 150, and you don't have to instruct that well. You don't have to get too deep into it because it pretty much flies its own self. You get on the ground, you let go of that steering wheel, and it goes right down the runway.
Yeah, that is a thing.
However, a tail dragger, you can't be a bad pilot because it will expose you immediately. And same things goes with instructors. Tail dragger highlights, underscores, illuminates poor flying technique and poor instructing technique real quick. There'll be no conjecture or discussion on it. The airplane's usually ground looped and broken.
You think maybe that has something to do why there's so few places you can go learn in a tail dragger anymore?
Well, there's a number of reasons for that. The thing that dictates whether or not you can fly an airplane is not your experience or ratings usually. It's what the insurance requirements are.
Yes.
Insurance always has been the dictator of what you can fly and what you can't fly. When I started flying, I had to have 1,000 hours to fly 172 to do pipeline patrol. That feller was
1,000 hours in a 172 to do
1,000 hours total time.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. There's probably 15 or 20 or 30 hours in a Cessna 172. I don't remember. But
Yeah.
the guy that crashed that MCAS airplane the other day there
Uh-huh.
at 737 MAX, guy in the right seat had like 350 hours. What was he doing in a 737? So where was I going with that? Oh, the insurance companies dictate that, right? And when I first started flying a little twin-engine airplane, they had to have 1,500 hours and so on and so forth. So the problem with the tail draggers is they get wrecked so much. Mm-hmm. The hull, it's expensive to insure the hull because they all get ground looped. And so you can't get insurance for them. Or insurance is very high for them.
Okay, regarding insurance, it's not like car insurance. There's what strata of insurance are there for a plane with a pilot? Like, and the other thing is, I'm hearing people saying they just don't have insurance on their aircraft. Do
Yeah, you
do
don't
that?
need to have no goddamn insurance on the airplane.
Okay,
You don't need it.
What?
You don't got to get it on account of it's illegal.
What's illegal?
It's not illegal.
Oh, it's not illegal.
Yeah, it's do you got to have it in your car, right?
Right.
It's mandated by the
Right.
law,
So
state law, I believe.
right.
But
So theoretically, if Pilot X is rated in aircraft Y and buys aircraft Y, that person can just go fly it without insurance legally.
oh, they do that all the time, and then they do it a lot of time. They're doing it and they think they're covered, but they ain't covered.
What do you
That's
mean?
the worst one. So, we used to rent out airplanes. Used to have a big flight school and all this stuff, and the guy'd go out there and tear the prop up, and he would have to pay $1,000 deductible. Even though it says in the brochure you're covered by insurance. Well, yeah, you are, but there's also deductible. So what we did about that was everybody that rented an airplane, they could opt to pay an extra dollar.
Okay.
And so eventually you had $1,000 saved up.
Oh.
So if it was your turn in the hole and you bent the prop,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so
That's,
it's always-
that's how they did it. It's
Yeah.
not really the
Yeah,
insurance.
so if you didn't sign that $1 waiver, then you come up with $1,000. This is back in the 80s.
I see.
So it was the 70s and 80s.
I see.
$1,000 a lot of money.
There's there's other levels of insurance, like hull insurance, full insurance.
It's hull-
What about all that?
Well, there's hull insurance and there's moving and non-moving. And number one, I ain't no expert on insurance. Matter of fact, I've tried to understand it my whole life. I got buddies that sell insurance. I go to Oshkosh. I talk to guys about the insurance. I can tell you how hydraulic systems work.
Yeah.
How an airplane stalls, what critical angle attack is. I can tell you all that stuff, but I can't tell you too much about how insurance works, because it's more of a mystery than it is a science. Basically, it's just an odds playing game. They don't care anything really much more about it than the odds.
Right.
And so the odds are you're gonna ground loop your
Tail dragger.
Tail dragger. So it's not a good insurance risk.
Okay.
But there's moving and non-moving insurance. In other words, non-moving would be the airplane is in a hangar or tied down, you know, and you're not flying it, and a tree falls on it.
Oh, I see.
Or another airplane crashes into it, you're covered.
Okay.
A lot of people opt out.
What
of
about
that.
if somebody nicks a landing light or something? What insurance covers something like that?
Well, it all depends. If you have hull insurance and for movement, it would cover it.
Otherwise, you're just
know?
out of pocket, so don't jack
Yeah.
up people's things.
Yeah. That's how that would work.
What happens if, I don't know, I'm coming up with theoretical situations. You're taking off and your propeller just lets loose your old wooden prop or something, and a fragment goes and like breaks something or hits somebody.
And then your liability.
Yeah.
There's limits of liability, and it's $1 million smooth now, they call it. And,
Okay.
And you know, what's $1 million? It ain't nothing no more, you know.
That's a liability insurance you can have on a plane?
Yeah, you can get more. I have more in my airplanes, but it costs you money to get more liability
Right.
insurance. But, you know, we're a litigation-happy society. We make a lot of money off of.
We like to
telling this
ruin
right.
everything, don't we?
Right. So, yeah, that's the liability portion of it. Some guys will get only liability and no hull.
Yeah, that's what I was
Now,
thinking.
the Pete and Paul, in our club, we don't got no insurance on it at all. None. Okay.
Okay.
However, we highly recommend that you get renter's insurance or non-owner's insurance, because it's evolved to the point now. Back in the old days, you were the second insured. So if you crashed the Pete and Paul, it was my airplane, and I didn't have no insurance on it, you didn't get nothing. You know, your renter insurance was second insured. But now you can actually get your own premium to rent airplanes with.
Okay.
And so that's what we suggest. And I think it's about $500 a year.
Okay.
But it's worth it. We had one feller run off the runway and hit one of them pappy lights out there. And of course, you know, the government comes out with a crew, and it's going to cost a lot of money to put that new light bulb in there.
Yeah.
It was like $3,500 or something like that.
It is just a glass lens that they mass produce with.
There was a little bit more to it, but yeah, you know.
There was a little bit of concrete and a post.
Well, he did a little damage to. It wasn't it wasn't pappy. It was a slope indicator, whatever.
Wait, was that?
What about the airplane? Oh, broke the back wing right off of it.
Did he?
Yep, broke back wing off of it. Well, we built another one and had it flying like a week later. It cost like $50. We're going to split it between the club, which was about 10 members at the time. So how much help me?
Wait,
with
was that on the Pete?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, is that what the horizontal?
Back wing staying up the
hanging
wall.
up? Okay.
Yeah. So we decided to have pizza with it instead. That's what we do. If somebody knocks a wing off it or something like that, we just build them a new one. That's
cool,
our
though.
insurance policy. Yeah, it's real good. We puked a motor one time, swallowed a valve on a check ride. Now, here's how good my boys are. Sticking rudder skills. They're not good at typing.
Oh, he passed it. That was with
He puked
Newman down at Tiffin, wasn't it?
Sucked the valve into the motor, chewed it up. It actually poked.
Destroyed that one piston.
It poked through the cylinder, the bottom of the piston went through the rest of the motor.
You got to get that right piston cylinder. The internet will lose their mind.
Oh, well.
And then say your
Yeah,
belt
damn
buckle's
well
askew and they can't stop looking at your bulge.
Anyway, where was I?
You're talking about that
The
check
motor
ride where
quit.
he
He's
blew
on
up the
his
motor.
check ride before he'd get his instructor rating, and he makes it back to the airport, sets it down real pretty on a downwind landing.
Was it running on a couple cylinders still?
It was running a little bit.
Enough to...
Not enough to keep it up in the air. It was coming down. And plus, you're scared to death. You think things are going to blow up or catch on fire.
Yeah, or rattle off or something. Yeah.
So they made it underground, and as they're pushing the airplane back, what?
Speaking of that, I've heard to say that a hot air balloon is the most badass method of transportation there is. It's fabric and wicker propelled by fire. Okay, continue. I just had to throw that out there.
Now I forgot what I was talking about.
The Pete and Paul, the engine blew up on the check ride. He made it back into the airport.
They're pulling it back down the runway, him and the instructor, the designated examiner. And the dude, that's the guy who was flying it, says to the instructor.
Oh, it was the dude.
It was the dude, yeah. He says, well, do I pass? And the examiner goes, well, I got to pass you. That's a true story. And hot air balloons, I used to fly them too.
You did?
Oh, yeah. I used to give a lot of rides in them. Back in the day. The name of my balloon was La Bitara Rouge. It was red.
Okay, what is
The
the...
small one, phone. It's probably Donald Trump calling me.
Do you have anything
Ever.
intelligent to tell me before I shoot my mouth off on the internet?
Well, what else did you have to say on there that was so
I made
bad?
Cessna pilots really mad at me because I
Well-
said they were boring.
They are kind of. If you fly a pitch or something like that.
Yeah, that's true.
But I like Cessna 150 pilots.
I screwed up royally when I would say stall, when I was really referring to, I didn't think a lot of the pilots out there are really getting familiarized with spins.
Well, you know,
What's the scenario with having to learn spins?
You go up. I mean, you go up and you get a couple of spins for your instructor rating. You got to do that. If you're an instructor, you got to do it, even for light sport.
What about the 40-hour or VFR private pilot type?
No, they don't got to do it.
You don't have to do a spin.
No,
So-
they dropped that a long time ago. I don't.
Then why was everybody like saying that I should go drown myself in a bathtub because I was saying that these pilots don't have to do spins and that makes me nervous that
Well, let's talk about doing a spin.
Okay.
You know, just because you get a couple of 3 lessons in doing spins, does that make you a spinner?
I don't know what a
Most-
spinner is.
A guy that can do a spin, or
Okay.
a gal, a person that can do a spin in an airplane.
Yes.
I would say this: most pilots get their initial spin training and they never spin again after that.
Yes.
So that means they're good at spinning.
I would think not.
You know, when Scully landed in the river
Yes.
there in Washington, everybody.
He was a glider pilot, wasn't he?
Yeah, right. He was.
Okay.
He used to wear diapers too, but he no longer does that, right? So he did it when he was at the academy out there in
Oh,
and
so that's what they were
all he did.
touting.
And I would say, well, that ain't really gliding. If you want to come gliding, come on with me down to Marion, Ohio.
Yeah,
We'll do
exactly
some
right, down there.
gliding, or up to Adrian.
Yeah.
Let's go catch some thermals. He went to the school and he did some gliding out there. But the thing is, it don't make a difference. It had nothing to do with him landing that airplane. It was a talking point for the internet.
Great point.
You know, it's great. And I remember I was watching LOT Airlines. Sometime after that, they had wheels were stuck up.
Uh-huh.
And so they had on the television, the airplane's going to fly back to Poland and make a landing. And it was a beautiful day there, and they had all the stuff. And the 2 gals working CNN or whatever it was, they were shuffling their papers like they do. And the airplane comes in for a landing and makes a real nice landing with the wheels up, and comes to a stop. And the one gal looked at the other gal and she goes, "Boy, that's really good, and good job he did." And the other gal says, "Yeah, I heard this guy was a pilot, a glider pilot, just like Scully." As though that made a difference.
We
But,
should
you know,
go. I should go. Have like 2 lessons in a glider, so I can say I'm a glider pilot.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
that's the new standard. Of
You know,
cool.
it's like, am I a hot air balloon
I'm not
pilot?
digging glider pilots. I like gliders.
Am I a hot air balloon pilot? Well, I got my license. I flew them 30 years ago, but I have, you know.
I feel like if you're a hot air balloon pilot, that is the pilot equivalent of being the French guys from Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where you're up at the you're up at the wall going, "You have to get me from here."
It's funny.
Okay, where were we going with all this malarkey?
Well, we're sewing this up.
Oh, you don't have to actually spin a plane to get your 40-hour VFR license.
No. Only people got to do it as instructors.
See, okay, here's my point.
And they do it in their beginning of their training.
That makes me nervous because I don't want to fly with those kind of people. Because, okay, like, you showed me that video. Guy, you showed me a bunch of videos. So, like, we watched. Remember that RV? Somebody's going up on takeoff, probably has an engine out, sits there like this, the thing goes spin and sticks it.
That's generally speaking how they all go in.
Right, and then
Stall
there's this
spin
other
action.
young guy who's coming, he's doing slow fly, he's coming
Oh,
down
you're
like
talking
this.
about the video. Yeah, the nice thing about this voyeuristic society, and I think we're kind of voyeuristic because I didn't grow up with a camera in my hand taking selfies like we're doing right now. But, you know, I saw this one guy in a parachute airplane. You know, he pulled a parachute and landed. And the first thing you know, when he gets out, he's videotaping himself, you know. But what's nice about that as an instructor is now, for years, I taught about how you can do a...
Screw things up.
Yeah, and you cross the controls.
Now
and
you just go on the
crash.
internet.
But you know, you had to believe me, you know. But now you go on the internet and they show these guys screwing up all the time. I say, see, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Well,
so keep up bringing those videos.
Putting your garbage up. So I made a point of how, do you recall the one he was doing slow flight or coming to a stall and it goes to spin, the first thing he does is crank in a ton of yoke and exacerbate the spin.
Well, no, that's how you get into spin.
Make it.
Yeah.
Well, but he looked like he was normally flying, and it just starts to roll a little bit, and he goes
I
like
don't
this.
know what normally flying is, but if you
Okay, so
yeah, that's
fair.
just they all do that. If you watch When they lose a wing, that's called losing a wing. So if it drops this way, they'll
Right.
steering wheel that way, and that's what makes it drop even more.
Correct.
It's a matter of physics.
I was just saying that, like, I didn't want to fly with pilots that don't know how to use their rudder pedals and do things in situations.
Well,
like
you're
this.
always going to be flying with those folks. You know, they got this new thing called CFIT. I think it's new. I don't know, about 15 years old.
Yeah, continue. I just thought of another thing I have to say.
I'll put a marker on that, a bookmark.
I got it.
Okay, don't lose it. See, I would lose it.
We're going to have to tie this up, too, because we're going to keep this up. Yeah.
But anyway, what was I saying? I lost it.
Okay, so then I go with what I got then?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I made a lot of presumably young people that are studying to become commercial pilots in big airlines and stuff mad because I said that initially I was actually in school to go that route, but realized my personality type did not fit being a bus driver in the sky, and I was more suited to recreation or sport pilot or personality type of kind of like that edgy sort of.
Now, I don't get that at all. I don't get that. Why the hell wouldn't
Did I
you
said
wanna-
that or they got mad?
No, why you would be like that? Why wouldn't you want to fly? All the way.
You mean a commercial big plane kind of thing?
Well,
going
whatever.
somewhere?
You just wanted to do it recreationally, and I don't
No.
get that. But I understand that some people. I have recently, in the past couple of years, since I had my sensitivity training, everybody.
I never had sensitivity.
I
training.
did, man. It got me in touch with my feelings and other people's feelings.
I got in touch with my feminine side the last time.
No,
and she
I did
slapped
never.
me.
I don't want to touch your feminine side there. I'm not going to go down that path right there. But
Your sensitivity training.
yeah. Well, I forgot what I was talking about now.
Can I just say my question then? They got all mad because I said it was like being a bus driver in the sky.
Oh, you are a bus driver in this guy.
Yeah, if you're not, then why is it called Airbus?
Right. That's right. You know what? You ain't flying when you're in an airliner. And the reason,
Why?
Well, if you're flying,
Yeah,
you decide where to go,
it's a good point.
right? And the airline pilot's going to go on what it says on his pairing, where he's supposed to go next, time to leave, and all that stuff. If you were really flying, would you go to like Chicago O'Hare?
No, that's terrible.
Or LaGuardia?
No.
You want to go there? When
No.
was the last time you went to a fly-in at LAX?
Right.
They don't even have a breakfast, fly-in breakfast at half these airports. So why would you want to? And if you were really flying, right? Could you do a roll, or you could do a loop, right? You can't do that with those people back there.
No,
You're not
you could
doing
ask
that.
everybody to shut the windows and
So
do a
what
real
you're
good
doing-
Bob Hoover one.
You're just driving a bus, typing on them computers, going across the country, trying to stay awake, hoping they'll bring you another cup of coffee, maybe first class meal.
I have to say that aspect of flying did not interest me.
Yeah,
But that
and that's
made people mad
And
that
you know
I
who else
sliced
it didn't
it.
interest?
Who?
Dave Morris. Who's he? Well, look up who Dave Morris is. He's out in California. He's kind of like a test pilot.
Uh-huh.
He got hired by United Airlines. And after 6-8 months, he said, "This ain't for me." And
Yeah.
he went to work, and he just does Reno stuff.
Oh,
you
cool.
know, and Warbird stuff
Yeah.
and all that kind of thing. And I would have liked to have done that, except I was too lazy. And there's no Warbirds around here, and plus it was easier money,
All right, fair enough. So
That's-
I guess regarding my video that made everybody mad, I'm glad. Thank you for talking, so I could get rid of any misinformation I had. But I kind of still stand true on my gist and feeling relating to what types of planes are flying. I think is boring, and that. Where am I going with this?
I
Okay.
don't know.
What's the best way for people, young or old, to get into aviation without completely breaking the bank to get to fly?
It's just been decimated. Okay, way back in the day when I was a flight instructor in the mid '70s, I worked 9 to 5 Monday through Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, it was subsidized. It was a socialist operation. Nobody likes to say that, but all the flying back then was subsidized by the government for veterans, VA benefits.
Really?
Yeah, if you've got your private pilot, your privates, if you got your privates, they would then get you in a program through the VA benefits where you only paid 10% of the flying you did thereafter.
Wow.
And so you needed another 250 hours, or well, let's say you got your license in 200 hours or in 50 hours, you had to fly around for 200 hours, and you only paid 10% of that, and you could
That'd
do
be
all
good.
this flying. So guys are supposed to be getting their ratings, but they're going down to see their girlfriends in Florida and stuff like that. Well, that all dried up.
Uh-huh.
And So it's that, along with that went the little FBOs. There used to be all across, we're in Ohio, right? And there used to be a little mom and dad, at least, flying school in every airport.
Yeah.
At least one. And now there are none.
Hardly.
Because it's shifted, the economics of everything has shifted so much. Today, in the old days, you would buy your first airplane, might be a brand new Cherokee 180 or a Cessna 172. Today, the little airplane is a Cirrus, and that's close to $1 million now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the evolution of, the middle class is not making any money. They're making less money. The upper class, the 1%ers, are making more money.
Yeah.
And more money easier. And there is no huge machine like Cessna was cranking out airplanes left and right. And so was Piper. There was
Yes.
a big, what am I talking about? Big market to choose from.
Right,
now.
right.
Now it's a much smaller market and for a smaller clientele. So how's a feller or a gal going to get into flying? You can go to your FOB, or you can go to your. There aren't many chapters that have a flying club, unfortunately.
Like EAA, you mean?
Yeah, EAA.
Yeah.
I'm an EAA 582nd. Most EAA clubs are for social activities and
Having parties and talking about
stuff
airplanes.
like that, right? So I don't know. It's dry spell. I'm working on doing that, but we're going to talk about that in another video.
We'll come back another time.
Yeah,
Thanks for your time today.
you're quite welcome.
I've been deeply moved and entertained.
Do you think the folks out there in the cyber world, out there on the information superhighway of the World Wide Web, are going to come back and cast a
They just might.
in my direction on account of I might have stepped on somebody's toes, in spite of the fact that I've had this cockpit resource management training that not only has got me in touch with my feelings, but the feelings of those around me, and made me a better pilot, a better employee, hell, a better lover, cook, husband, father, member of the community at large.
From your sensitivity training?
I'm getting choked up now. They didn't warn me about the separation anxiety I get at the end of a trip, Casey. So when you shut that machine off, I'm going to turn around, I'm going to walk out that door, and I'm not going to look back. Man, I love you.
You are a
Love you,
victim,
man.
sir. Thank you for coming on by whatever this is.
CRM guys, call out triggers, call outs and flows, guys. Learn them,
WTF FML. I hope you guys enjoyed this, that you will like, comment, and subscribe. Who is this?
I just
Oh, poo.
saluted.